Welcome to 301 Banter, a show having conversations with the finest athletes across Minnesota. We delve into the trials and tribulations of the athletes, coaches, and broadcasters that make the sports world in Minnesota tick. So whether you're a diehard sports fan or just curious to learn about different people, join us for discussions and behind-the-scenes glimpses into Minnesota's vibrant sports community.
Welcome to 301 Banter, the podcast where we sit down with Minnesota's top athletes and dive into their journeys on and off the ice, court, and field. Today we have a special guest, Louie Wehmann. Louie is well known in the Minnesota hockey community, a Providence Academy graduate that left his mark on the school as the all-time leader in goals and points, as well as having the highest scoring season in Lions history. Now, he's playing north of the border with the BCHL's Penticton Vees. And, as we've just recently found out, he'll be taking his talents to the NCAA ranks as a commit to Cornell University. We'll talk about his record-breaking high school career, his transition to junior hockey, and what lies ahead at the Division I level. Plus, we'll get his thoughts on his journey so far and the lessons he's learned along the way. So let's drop the puck. Louie Wehmann joins 301 Banter right now. All right, so first question, I think top of a lot of people's minds was the big news that you announced recently. You committed to Cornell University. So for kind of my own sake of not having to answer this for people asking me over and over again, I'll ask you. What made you choose Cornell over, some of the other schools that you were looking at?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a multi-bladed sword. Obviously the hockey program is really strong there, and they've got a good history of pumping out really good players that kind of play the same style as I do, pretty heavy, with some skill there too. So just kind of seeing the blueprint for me there was one factor, and then that the academics obviously speak for themselves, being an Ivy League school. No matter if you play 20 years in the NHL or you don't play anywhere after college, it ends for you no matter what. So, to have that degree to fall back on was something that I prioritized. And, coming from Providence Academy, it just seemed like the right move not to have to sacrifice any of the academic work that I put in, to just compromise that for the hockey.
Yeah, yeah. So any part of it just trying to make Andy Bernard from The Office proud?
Yeah, I've had a lot of people actually talk to me about Andy Bernard from The Office, and all I can say is if my life becomes a salesman at a mid-sized paper company in Scranton, Pennsylvania, that's how it went.
All right, yeah. So then you're with the Penticton Vees now. How much did they help in the college decision process and helping you get recruited to by multiple schools?
Yeah, they were pretty instrumental. I mean, pretty much every college I talked to said that they trust my head coach's words a lot, and that his word carries a lot of weight with them. So to get his recommendation for me was pretty big, I think, with kind of swaying colleges' minds. And then he had a lot of wisdom for me too on what he thinks I should do regarding colleges. Just kind of gave me all the facts about what he thought about, and left the decision of essentially up to me, but yeah, his wisdom really helped me.
Yeah, yeah. Now you were talking about the talent that Cornell pumps out, but the Penticton Vees definitely have a history of pumping out great NHL talent specifically, and guys like Brett Hall and Paul Correa are both in the Hall of Fame, and um, you know Duncan Keith, who won 3 Stanley Cups with the Chicago Blackhawks. And what does it mean to you to be playing for an organization in a town that had all of those guys before they made a name for themselves in the NHL.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think there's a good amount of pressure that comes with it in the healthiest standpoint. Like, the town's seen greatness and they expect greatness, and that's what we try to give them every day, day in, day out. It's really cool to see those guys that move on and end up having great careers in the NHL and knowing that, they were sitting in the same locker that some of the guys we have right now are sitting in. And yeah, it's cool. Like, we had our alumni weekend a couple weeks ago, and Duncan Keith strolled out with just some other guys that played here. Some were just dads of families, and then Duncan Keith walks out with three Stanley Cup rings. Like, it's pretty cool to know that. There's obviously going to be some guys that their career ends after college or whatnot, but there's also going to be guys like Duncan Keith and Brett Hull who become NHL greats.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Now, I personally have been to a couple of the games in Penticton right around the holidays, and the fans were getting rowdy there for a random game at the end of random regular season game at the end of December, and they treat you guys like you're their NHL team or college team. Like, can you speak to how they've treated you and made like both on and off the ice uh, in your time in Penticton so far?
Yeah, it's really special. Just knowing that you really have a town that focuses on you, and obviously there's high expectations about how you want to conduct yourself outside of the rink, and at the rink. Uh like I said, like they know what the Penticton Vees are capable of, and I think their expectation every year is that we win a championship. And it's a good mentality to have, that that's the expectation, and anything below that is failure. But yeah, I mean, they're super supportive. Like, just this last weekend on Friday night, we played Vernon in front of 4,300 fans. It was our highest attendance ever, or this year. And yeah, it's just cool. Like, the building's rocking pretty much every night, but especially that night. And it just gives us a little extra energy when things aren't going our way or whatnot. To know that you got 4,000 people in the building backing you up.
Yeah, yeah, um, yeah. Having 4,000 people there for um that type of game is amazing. Now I know you've had some crazy game experiences, but I think uh one of, if not the craziest one that you may have been a part of was your first game for the V's. Um, Getting to Penticton and then a couple hours later being on the ice for an actual game and not just a practice or a morning skate. Can you tell us about that experience of being?
Yeah, it was pretty special. I mean, not many times in junior hockey do you play on a Tuesday. So for me to just arrive on a random Tuesday and then not have to wait the weekend to play a game and kind of feel the nerves and everything, but just kind of get thrust right into a game, like, it really makes you feel part of the team right away. We didn't get the result we wanted that night, but I think for me personally, like, it just helped me get comfortable with the guys. Like, you know, everyone's comfortable on the ice always, no matter what, and whoever you're playing with is going to be your teammate. So just kind of had to embrace it right away. And yeah, it was cool. It was a special experience, and it kind of gave me a lot of respect for Penticton and what they thought of me, to trust me to wear their jersey without ever practicing. But yeah, it was an experience for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Now, let's move back in time to high school at Providence and um, set a few scoring records with the Lions, few team records, most goals and points in a career, and then also having most points and most goals in a single season. Two, you're also the only player to have over 200 points with the Lions, and the also being the only player in school history to be a Mr. Hockey finalist. Um, of those accomplishments that you've had, which are you more proud of, and what is something that I did not list there that you wish you would have been able to do with the Lions?
Yeah. for which one I'd say I'm most proud of is probably being a Mr. Hockey finalist, just because that's a recognition not just within your school but throughout the whole state, and I hope it just kind of shows guys that you don't have to go to a powerhouse AA school to have success, and the school in your backyard might be the best school for you and your path. Yeah, so I hope it just, I think it just kind of says a lot about Providence and what they are able to do with me. And yeah, hopefully kind of inspire some kids to choose the less beaten path, knowing that it could still bring you success for an accomplishment that I wish I would have had that I wasn't able to. Obviously, I think that just making the state tournament is something that, I think especially like my junior year, we had a great opportunity to do it. We just kind of collapsed in the playoffs, came short, but it was definitely a learning experience for me, something that I think I'll take with me for the rest of my career. But to know that, so many guys got to experience that state tournament and, I wasn't able to, it's something that still makes me a little sour to this day.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Let's as we the wrap up here, let's got one final question for you. Um, of your entire hockey career, and we'll say from the first time you put on skates, um, to this point, what has been your favorite memory on the ice, whether that's, playing for an actual team or playing in the backyard with your friends? What's been the best moment for you?
Yeah, I'd have to say just, you know, coming from Minnesota, just always playing on the backyard or the backyard rink, like um before, there was any accolades or anything like that. That's just kind of where I came to love the game, just playing with whoever was available that night, not worrying about the future or the score or anything like that, just playing to have fun playing the game you love. So I'd have to say that's probably, a combination of my favorite memories. Can't really pin down one though.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. All right. Well, that is everything I have for you today. I want to thank you for taking the time. And before the Super Bowl here in a few hours. And yeah, thank you for joining us here today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we will try to get you on soon, maybe after a lengthy playoff run here coming
Yeah,
up.
sounds great for sure.
Yeah.